What's good, YouTube? It's Jwill. I'm gonna be making a jerk type beat. I'm a little late to the party, I feel, but it's alright. I'm starting to get into these type of beats, into this type of music, into the underground of the underground, and I'm gonna show y'all how to make these beats. So let's get right into it. Alright, so for this type of beat, I'm actually gonna start with the drums, and I'm gonna start with a chant. Yeah, that's what I need. Alright, so that's a good starting point, and now I'm just gonna go to the snare and make a bouncy snare pattern. Alright guys, I think I'm starting to get a real good bounce with this beat, and it's been pretty smooth so far. You know, you got that little... That really makes the beat. See, got a good bounce going. And with these type of beats, I really think that bounce, that drum bounce is really so important. It's like, it reminds me of Plug, because with Plug you need that bounce, you need that drum bounce that's specific to Plug, and with Jerk it's the same thing. You got that like really specific bounce. You could really do this all without even putting in the melody yet. You just gotta feel that bounce. And I put it up to 175 BPM because I feel like it sounds way better. When it's slower, it just doesn't sound good. It doesn't have the right bounce. And just to explain the sounds, I got a bouncy snare here. I mean, you can look at the channel rack here, but you could see that bouncy snare. I really did most of it, like pretty much all of it, just on the channel rack. So going through that slowly, you can see how I did that. Yeah, I got the snare, and then I got the first A sound effect. You can hear this first A, but then you also got this other A. So, and then they complement each other when they're both going. And then you got this like bouncy DJ sound. And then you got the little hi-hat, or little open hat. And then it really just all comes together with the snare. Alright, now I'm going to start making my melody with Lounge Lizard. I'm going to make the melody in chords in A sharp minor. Now I'm going to purity. Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I think this video is gonna be a short video because I'm really speeding through this right now. I don't know if I said this, but I'm going for some happy vibes with this beat. I'm thinking about adding more. I might just add a lead, but right now I feel like I don't really need to add too much more to the stuff I have right now, because I feel like just repeating every 4 bars is fine, because these beats are really short, really repetitive, and yeah, it's just kind of how they're laid out. And to give you guys just a run through of what I did here, this is a 9th chord, so I stacked the minor 3rd on top of this minor chord, and that would be a 7th, and then I stacked the major 3rd on top of that, and then that's a 9th, and then I just copied over, I just made another 9th here, but this is just a 7th, so this is a 9th, but this is just a 7th, and then this is a 9th, and then this is a 9th, and then I just strum this chord at the end here to give it some variety. And then I put this note here because with this note here, it's a sus2 because it's on the 2, so a suspended 2nd is what you would call it. And that's a minor chord, a minor C sharp chord. But then once you put this from here to here, then it makes it a suspended second, then I put this down here to give it a little bit of tension, and then it immediately resolves and it sounds good and it gives it some variation. And then for this, honestly, I just use my ear and put a pattern that sounds good. I mean, I use the ghost notes for reference, but it was really just in my head, and I found a nice sounding pattern that's pretty emotional sounding. You know, you got you got a big skip here. Like when you're not going up, I learned this, that when you're going up just one scale degree, it's a step, but then when you're going up more than one scale degree, it's a skip. That's what Melody called it. If you look up Melody on YouTube, that's what he calls it, and it gave it some emotion. If you count, it's the first scale degree, second scale degree, third scale degree, fourth, and then fifth. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half steps, and it kind of just worked. And if you bring it down, you can see that it was just played as the suspended 2 right here, so it kind of fits in there. It fits in there in a lot of ways, but when you go up a perfect fifth, it's usually bound to sound pretty good and pretty nice. And then yeah, down here, I just played with the velocity to make a little nice sounding build up into that F sharp note. And that's basically there to just make the melody not as repetitive. And then I also added this clap that I'm gonna put in somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I'll probably just put it in for like 8 bars in the middle of this beat. Gives it even more bounce when it's in there. Alright guys, this is what I'm rolling with for now. The biggest additions that I just added are this sound, which will make a good switch up from this sound. And then I take it out, add this sound. Yeah, so it'll be a nice little switch up. And then I also put this little hi-hat here to switch it up for the snare, just to add some more variety. I'm really adding a lot of variety, but you don't really need to do all this, but I'm just trying a bunch of stuff out, and it's coming out pretty nice, and I think the final product's gonna be fire. And then I also put some EQs on the sounds to make sure they don't interfere with the kick and the 808. So I put it around 100 hertz. I meant to put it, I put it to 100 hertz because I was like, it doesn't really matter if it's a little muddy, because this genre tends to get a little muddy. These beats get a little muddy. They're not like perfect, like clean beats. So I was like, I want some more width on these sounds, and I'll let a little bit of muddiness come in if it does, but I still don't really hear that much muddiness. And then if you look over here, I monoed this sound 50%, and then I monoed the 808 75%, and then I monoed the kick 100% because I want the kick to be right in the middle, and I want this 808 to be a little bit on the sides. And then this sound's not really a bass sound, but it's a more low end sound effect, so I just put it more mono because that's where I put my low end, a lot of my really low end stuff. A few more things I want to talk about before we go to the final beat is check this clap pattern right here. So many jerk beats have this clap pattern. It's really like a signature of jerk beats. I'd say like it's really 50-50 if they have this clap or not. And in my beat, I'll incorporate it, I'll take it out, and then I'll put it back in. And then I also wanted to touch on how I laid out the notes for this pattern. And basically, I just saw that the A sharp down here is the bass note, so I put it up an octave, and then did this little, I call it the flute trick, and you put a little note here, and then it just comes up and then goes down, because I was using a flute when I did it, and it has that little cool effect that sounds very natural. And then basically when you put it back down, you see that the C sharp is in the chord of the first melody of the chords, and then the G sharp and the F sharp aren't. But when you put it up an octave, you can see that the ninth ends, like you go the ninth, so it's the 1, 2, 3, and then the seventh, and then the ninth, that goes there. It harmonizes with that. And then this F sharp, you can see it harmonizes with that, with the seventh of the ninth chord. And yeah, for these two melodies on top of the chords, I basically just followed the ghost notes I used my ear and I used some techniques I learned, but I didn't do nothing too crazy. And lastly, going over this kick and 808 pattern, it's just very simple. I layered the kick with the 808 because the 808 wasn't giving me enough punch, so I just snuck that kick in there. The kick isn't really kicking through too much, but I did that by design because I want them kind of to be intertwined with each other, and you really can't tell too much that there is a kick with the 808. Alright, so I'm just gonna go finish this beat up and arrange this. Here's the final beat.
Is that Jwill?
Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned how to make a jerk beat, how to make these new underground weird type of beats. See ya. Adios.